So we've both fallen foul of talking about the term agents and AI agent without
Mm,
actually describing what what that is, right?
yes.
For me, it's a bit of a fundamental question at the moment because everybody, if you look at all of the mainstream vendors, so Microsoft, Google, IBM, you name it, they're all talking about agentic AI at the moment as that wrapper term that's sort of come into play. But if you look underneath the hood as to what they are and what they do, then it becomes a lot more actually there's a lot more understanding as to what it is and how it adds value. So from my side, um, there's if we think of an agent and what an agent would do, it's still it's a
Yeah.
coded little coded mini application, right? That's going to run, whether it's running as a service, whatever it is, it's a little mini application that's running that will go and do something for you. So, for example, good old fashioned is, hey, in comes an email. I need to go and get a document out of it, classify it, figure out it's an invoice, get the invoice number out of it, and go and into my invoice system to get it paid, right? So there's an agent there, and we've been doing that for years. And there's bits of AI that have come into play to make that easier. So in the Microsoft world, you've got intelligent document processing that I could plug into to go and do the extraction, the classification, and the extraction of the invoice number, etc. But it's very sort of safe and traditional AI. Then you move that into the agentic piece, where in my mind you're then plugging in LLMs and generative AI into that mix, which is then bringing that more intelligent, generative-based content into the agent. So then you've got agentic agents, and there's some cool capabilities that you can plug in and reasonably safely do the assistive thing that you spoke about. So when I get to this stage, what should I do? And then you've got the future state thing that people are talking about, which is autonomous AI agents, which are saying, hey, you will take on the entire role of a complaint handler and end-to-end soup to nuts. You'll go and do it. Oh, and by the way, you'll learn how to do it better later on.
Yeah.
Exciting, but a little bit down the line, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean but that's the exciting part. I'd say, you can do a lot with I'd say normal agents, as in we're calling them normal agents now, and they've only been kind of the thing for the last 6 months or a year, what we've been talking about. But like if we were to boil down, and this is a conversation we have a lot with internal staff and customers at JAMA, is like, what is the difference between agentic AI and just AI? Because at the moment there's lots of masquerading as, oh, we've got agents doing stuff, when it's just an API that you give something into and you get something back from it. And that's a very loose terminology for being an agent per se. But if we try and break it down, and I know, Murph, you've done a lot more research than I have for this, into it. But if I was to describe it, I would say it's an artificial intelligence that acts more like an assistant with its own initiative than just following a set of pre-described instructions. So if I was to say, here's a workflow and it's got these 5 steps, and I write them all down and I give them to someone, they're just following my instructions. Whereas an agent uses more of its own initiative, artificial initiative, instead of artificial intelligence, to be able to do stuff. So an agent would, try and understand the goal of what you're trying to achieve, and then plan the steps to reach that goal. Then, in some forms at the moment, take action on its own where applicable to do something, and then that adaptability to then say, okay, well, if something changes, I need to adapt to the changing environment to be able to do that.